Hey everybody, how you doing? Suzette Speaks live on your radio. We're getting ready to get started. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button, tell a friend to tell a friend every Thursday and Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. I'm live on the radio, and you could also watch me here online. Hey Veggie, I see you in the comments. Thank you so much for watching Team Replay. Thank you so much. We're about to get started. Let me just make sure my feed is live. This is my guest, Miss Rosalind Joseph. Yay! We're gonna be talking about the Fearless Fund today. If you don't know what that is, that's okay. We're gonna educate you, and we're also gonna be talking about alternatives for ladies in business so that we can still thrive and survive even with the outcome of this case that I've been following. We've talked about it a little bit before, but we're going to educate you now. Hit the like button. Hi, everybody. And let me just make sure we're live on Facebook, and we're going to get started. Appreciate you watching. And Raj is going to relax and enjoy herself. Praise God. And we're going to have fun. Forget the camera is there and just do the show. All right, let's make sure we're live. Yes, afterwards we'll make sure all of this is up and up. Okay, fantastic. All right, so we're live now. Edit audience, public. Okay, now everybody should be able to see it. So Wagwan, hello. Representing today with some Jamaican Haitian combo. Let's go ahead. Let's go. Ready when ready. Okay, no problem. You tell me when. Hey everybody, and welcome. It's the Suzette Speak Show live on your radio. Tell a friend to tell a friend every Thursday and Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you so much for watching online. Shout out to the YouTube crew. Shout out to the Facebook crew, soon to be Instagram live crew, all of that. Everybody who follows me, much love to you. One love to everybody listening. We have a fantastic show. We're going to be talking about a new court case that was just decided in Georgia, and it really impacts Black women in business. And we're going to talk about how Black women can continue to thrive in spite of this outcome. If you don't know what I'm talking about the appeals court outcome that was just rendered in a case involving the Fearless Fund. Say it with me, the Fearless Fund. And in the Fearless Fund, it was a fund created for the purposes of giving venture capital funds to predominantly Black women and minority-owned businesses. So in this ruling, the judge in the or the judge panel in the appeals court ruling said that in doing so, the fund is being discriminatory.
Yeah, interesting.
Now, again, the Fearless Fund the purpose is to help to alleviate the inequities of the past, and it is quite daunting. I'm just going to read the headline from the AP. So the Fearless Fund is a grant program for Black women business owners. But again, the appeals ruling has now said that it is discriminatory, right? So a U.S. Federal Court of Appeals panel suspended the venture capital firm's grant program for Black women in business, Black women business owners, ruling that a conservative group is likely to prevail, claiming that this program is discriminatory. I'm going to play a little clip from CBS. Humble Lion, do we have that clip? Basically, the founder of the Fearless Fund, Miss Ariane Simone, was interviewed earlier, about 3-4 days ago, by CBS News. And I'm going to play just a short bit for you to hear directly from her about what she had anticipated and then what the outcome was. And then we're going to talk about how Black women can work to thrive in business in spite of this ruling. It's kind of scary what's going on, and I have a guest with me in studio, and we're going to get deep into what this actually means. Go ahead, Brian.
According to the Fearless Fund, just 0.39% of VC funding goes to businesses led by women of color. So they started a grant contest to change that. But now they're facing major pushback. They are being sued by a group arguing that the contest is a civil rights violation because it's only open to Black women. Fearless Fund co-founder and CEO Ariane Simon is here right now. What's up? How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are
Simone, excuse me. It's good to see you. You've been good?
I've been, overall, yes, I've been good.
Good, good. I'm good to have you. Let's jump right in. So you faced tough questions from the judges Wednesday. What was your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway, the opposing counsel compared our program to the whites only sign during segregation. And afterwards, reporters said, how did that make you feel? And I explained that the whites only sign during segregation, one, was used to oppress people, but it was not solving a disparity. The work that we do is actually solving a disparity. We are looking to level the playing field. We're trying to make things equitable and equal. And that's why we do the work we do. But I do believe in the same thing that Edward Bloom does. He's on the plaintiff side. And people are like, what's that? And I'm like, I want a world where race doesn't matter too. He says that's what he wants. I want that too. We're just not there yet.
Now, a point was raised, and you bring up the whites only sign. And that's usually coming from those that are critical of affirmative action. In this, you say that it should be protected by free speech, this contest. And those might argue, well, if you're not a Black woman, then it should not be covered by the First Amendment. What do you say to that?
Well, the First Amendment does allow us to express our dollars however we choose. And this is also a charitable organization. Never has a charitable organization been prohibited from where they're allowed to donate.
And they're using, this is the Reconstruction era section 1981 of the Civil Rights Act of 1866.
Which was actually a law that was put in place for non-whites to enter contracts.
Correct. And this is the same law that they're using or foundation for their argument alliance. Your attorney again said that this was unprecedented, that this was an effort to use that section to force a charity to reverse its message or shut down. Where are you all at right now in terms of funding and your organization?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me that. We have been financially impacted by this litigation. We have missed out on probably anywhere upwards of 8 figures in potential investments that were coming through prior to the litigation. We do not have the same amount of corporate partners that we had prior to litigation on the foundation side as well. So right now we are looking for anybody that does believe in DEI and believes in funding programs like this. We're looking for corporations to step up.
So this is part of a bigger and quite simple, actually, conversation going on in this country, right? We all agree, everyone recognizes the disparities in wealth and access in America. We were just talking about it yesterday, right? So the question is, how do you address those disparities? It sounds like you and Edward Bloom want the same end goal, which is no one's considering race. The question is, how do you get to that?
Get there?
How do you get there, right? What do you say to people who believe the way to get there is not?
Being solved for. But when you remove it, that the number shifts.
Are you thinking, oh, go ahead, Tony, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I was gonna say, are you thinking about a workaround?
I want my online viewers.
You had $20 million. Sure money. You can give it to whoever you want to.
Are we thinking about a workaround? At this point, we, of course, are still definitely defending our stance. Are there other ways for us to continue to do work? That is correct. But what we do not want to take place is for it to be illegal for us to do what it is that.
Thank you. So this is a conversation that was being held earlier this week, and we're going to bring you more information about this ruling that affects Black women in business and the way that we are funded. Of course, Arian Simone is the voice that you were listening to. She's the founder of the Fearless Fund. It's out of Atlanta. It was created in order to try to create more equity in business. What is a venture capital firm? Basically, when you are starting a company, oftentimes you have a wonderful idea, but very little money. And there are people that have money that want to invest in your company. And we know that less than 1% of those funds, that type of funding, venture capital funding, goes to Black women. Here comes Ariel Simone and the Fearless Fund. They raise money, they raise dollars from these venture capitalists to implant or to add to the Black woman business ecosystem to try to level the playing field. Now in this ruling by the Court of Appeals, actually the ruling came out of Miami. I remember actually 3 weeks ago, there was a call out to several women attorneys groups here in South Florida to come and show up at the Court of Appeals, where the 3-judge panel voted 2-1 to say that, unfortunately, the Fearless Fund, in their opinion, utilizing a law that was written actually to protect Black people from discrimination that goes back to 1866, that their work in doing a program that was exclusively giving funds to Black women-owned businesses was in fact discriminatory, and they must cease. They must stop. So I saw some reaction this morning. That's why I'm bringing this topic to y'all. Welcome again. Suzette Speaks Show live on your radio Thursdays and Fridays on Voice of the Caribbean, I&I Radio, every Thursday and Friday. I appreciate you from 1 to 2 p.m. I have a guest with me who's going to talk about her reaction to what happened. Again, talking about the Fearless Fund. And this case was closely watched because other civil rights groups with different programs that are similar now see that the courts in our country do not seem to have an appetite to protect programs that are promoting diversity, inclusion, and trying to build equity in business. So there is a ripple effect that we're going to talk about. We're also going to try to bring solutions, because I want us to not get too disheartened when we think, hey, this is us trying to help ourselves, and this is a court now telling us this is illegal because it's so-called reverse discrimination. Now, we know the group that has brought this lawsuit was led by a conservative activist named Edward Bloom, the same man that led the charge that overturned affirmative action on college admissions is the same man that is pushing this lawsuit against the Fearless Fund. And it will ultimately, she's saying in this interview at the very end, it will be appealed, she believes, to the Supreme Court. She's going to have to fight it all the way up and then see what those 9 justices say. So I have a business expert with me. She is also the founder of a co-working space. She is I would say, a dynamic consultant, project manager. There's so much more I can tell about her, but I would love for you guys to just hear it directly from her. I want to welcome for the very first time on the Suzette Speaks Show, Miss Rosalind Joseph. How are you?
I'm well, Suzette. Thank you for the invite.
I'm grateful that you're here on a day like today, sis, because when I saw these headlines, I'm like, oh my God, I have the perfect guest. So real quick, I want you to introduce yourself and tell people who you are and what you do.
So my name is Rosalind Joseph. I basically help individuals, organizations, and businesses get it together behind the scenes through my consulting company. And I'm also the founder of one of the first wellness co-working spaces here in South Florida. So on the topic that Suzette has brought me to speak today on, I really want to highlight and have some good discussion about being a Black female founder, a new female founder, a startup female founder, and what that looks like in creating and bringing something new that doesn't exist and asking for support financially from traditional funders and VCs, and going into rooms knowing that less than 0.3% of billions of dollars will go to you. And what are the odds?
So when we first, wanted to come on, I said, Roz, let's just do tips and ways that we can help Black women in business grow. And she was ready. And then we got this devastating news. And again, you can look it up. The Fearless Fund ruling, again, a venture capitalist-based firm focused on helping find funders for Black women in business, and how an appeals court here actually in Miami has now ruled that their work in trying to provide, again, this is the donations for a nonprofit and where it should and should not go, saying that a program developed to help fund Black women in business is discriminatory and that they must stop that particular grant program and they cannot use race as a factor. Again, it is shocking. It is something that was the goal of which was to create the equity, which history has taught us, we don't want always to use race, but if you're starting on the starting block way down there and you're telling me to start here and ready, go, and everybody's equal, no, this was trying to correct past inequity. And now it's being stopped dead in this track. So when you saw this headline and the ruling by this appeals court, and again, there's one more step that it can go up to the Supreme Court. What was your reaction, Rosalind?
I think I was not surprised. I was upset, but I was also saddened because it's basically watching people's dreams kind of get crushed, right? Because even me with my background, my ability to plan, my expertise, I know walking into certain rooms, no matter how well prepared and better prepared that I am than others, I won't get approved just on who I am, the
what
body
you look
that
like. Yes.
And so it's frustrating because there are so many people that are doing the work to help bring and bridge that equitable gap that exists and will continue to exist and probably grow now with rulings such as this, because now you're setting precedent.
Yes.
And I hope everybody's paying attention.
Yeah, this is really major. That's why I wanted to dedicate a whole show. Again, if you're just joining, Suzette Speaks Live with my special guest, Rosalind Joseph. And tell us what companies you founded so people can look you up and
Yes.
utilize your services. Yeah.
So I support organizations, people, and businesses with getting it together behind the scenes with my project management consultancy firm, the Answer Management Services. And I'm the co-founder of one of the first wellness co-working spaces here in South Florida, Holistic Executive Suites.
Awesome.
So I'm excited.
We're gonna get more into it because what she does, again, we're looking for solutions as a result of what we're seeing. So again, on this ruling, in a 2-to-1 ruling, the 3-judge panel on the U.S. Court of Appeals down here in Miami, the 11th Circuit, found that the plaintiffs, which are the conservatives that want to get rid of the Fearless Fund, led by activist Edward Bloom, would likely prevail. This is the writing of the court. If taken up to the Supreme Court in his lawsuit, claiming that the grant program violates, and this is the section 1981 of the 1866 Civil Rights Act, which prohibits discrimination on the basis of race when enforcing contract. Now, the crazy part is that in 1866, you have to remember that that's 1 year after the end of the Civil War, right? Where the North and the South of the United States fought. And some people would like to rewrite history and say it wasn't over slavery, it was over states' rights, but we're not going to get into that. So that was from 1861 to 1865. So 1866, this particular statute, federal statute, was developed to protect Black people from entering into biased, inequitable contracts with people who had formerly enslaved them. That's what it was made to protect. And it's very just mind-blowingly ironic that that very same statute that came about in order to protect Black people who had just recently left the institution of slavery, the exploitation, the American apartheid system that had existed to hold us as chattel, as property. 1 year after that, this statute was written. And that same statute is being used by conservatives now to claim discrimination when programs are trying to assist Black people, which is, again, the turn of events that really, it always, to me, goes back to, this is why elections matter, because people who are elected president get to pick who will be on the federal bench, who will become United States judges. You have state judges and you have federal judges. The federal bench is appointed by the president and approved by the United States senators. And they are lifetime appointments. So when we are seeing judges that are not like-minded in terms of where they, in many people's opinions, should be when it comes to using this type of precedent. 1866, this was to protect Black people who were entering contracts right after slavery. Now they're saying that it is also able to be applied to the Fearless Fund and how it's keeping white people from getting monies in a way that is designed to uplift and correct the inequities of the past. This is a very, very daunting ruling. I would encourage my listeners to look at Joy-Ann Reid's page. She has some wonderful posts about it. I'm here with Ms. Rosalind Joseph. Again, she's with the Answer Management Services.
Correct.
Okay.
Services.
Okay. Tell us the website for people who need help setting up businesses, because we're going to find our own solutions, y'all. No matter what the court system says, we need to also look for resources and build them within our communities so that we are able to continue to thrive and grow and do the work that needs to be done to make sure we receive our fair share in this American economy and the dream that we have to build our own businesses. So tell us a little bit more about what you do through the Answer Management Services.
So now more than ever, I think that we really have to go into all rooms prepared and really structure your businesses. This isn't something you're running out of a shop. This is things that's putting food on the table. And also when you're looking to grow your business and walk into rooms and ask people people for funding. You're asking to, put your business somewhere you want to succeed. And one of the things and opportunities I see for our businesses is really just operationally making sure that we got it together behind the scenes. Our procedures are in place. Our financials are in place. We have the resources. We have plans to grow. We know what growth looks like, and we can support it, especially when we get an influx of new clients or we pivot and we want to launch a new product. And so one of the things that I really hope our community recognizes, especially in light of this ruling, what that could possibly mean for your business. And when you're walking into rooms now, it may be a challenge because you may not have opportunities like the Fearless Fund at your disposal as we did before. We're going to have to go in all the other rooms where we know that we receive less than 0.03% of funding that we ask for. And so walking into those rooms, you need to be as confident as you can be, and you need to be as prepared as you need to be able to really pitch and talk about your business, talk about how successful you've been, what you foresee, how you're going to be able to solve a problem. It can't not just be on word of mouth anymore. It also needs to be on paper, and it also needs to be backed up with your systems and operations and the service that you deliver to all of your consumers.
We love it. I'm here with Miss Rosalind Joseph again with the Answer Management Service, TAMS for short.
TAMS.
She is also a business owner. She has a co-working space in Palm Beach, a wellness co-working space that we're going to be talking about. But she's also a resource for people in business who don't know how to really get the behind the scenes together. Oftentimes we jump into business, we may not have gotten, formal business training, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you won't be successful. But there are resources like her in the community that helps businesses set up properly, helps them understand their books, helps them understand when they need to hire staff, helps them look at contracts and when they can go for contracts. And again, this conversation today is focused on venture capital funding in relationship to the ruling that we just saw come out, which is the Fearless Fund being dealt a serious blow. All programs for DEI being dealt a serious blow. Conservative activist Bloom has now gotten us another victory in a Miami appeals court where a venture capital fund, the Fearless Fund, which is designed to help find investors for Black women businesses, is being told right now they have to cease and desist because it is, quote, discriminatory according to the court's ruling. We're going to talk more about that with Ms. Rosalind Joseph. This is Voice of the Caribbean, y'all. This is a serious show today. Tomorrow I have a great attorney who's going to be joining me. She's going to talk about what Biden is doing at the border. Y'all heard about the border? Yeah, there's some changes at the border. We're going to make sure. We're going to talk about that with attorney Melissa Wilson tomorrow from Integrity Legal. She's going to be on with me for the full hour. We're going to really get into some deep immigration. But make sure you tell a friend. 94.3 in Miami, 102.1 FM in Fort Lauderdale, 102.3 in North Miami, Hollywood, 99.7 Orlando, Winter Garden, Lake Mary, 105.3 Vero Beach, Port St. Lucie. If you have a question, you can give us a call, 850-446-0562. More right after this break. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to go over to, I think I should go over to Instagram. I think I'm going to go over to Instagram, y'all. I appreciate you watching. Come over to Instagram. All right, see you guys soon. Thank you. And shout out to Roz. I thank you for being here. Hit the like button and share. See you guys tomorrow.